Good morning and welcome to today's episode. It is September 27th, 2020 in the Pacific time zone on a Sunday. Yes, a Sunday morning. I actually watched last Sunday's video last night and I was bored. I was bored. And it's good that I started watching my videos because I actually realized that I'm not being effusive enough. Even in my seriousness, I am not being effusive enough and smiling enough. And overnight, one of the things that became incredibly clear to me was the fact that one of the major problems going on here in the United States right now is that everybody is taking everything way too seriously, and we are not happy. We are not happy. And so once again, we have gone against the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have gone against the grain because we are not in the pursuit of happiness. We are in the pursuit of misery. That is a big problem. Now, quite frankly, the real goal of life should be joy. But let's just deal with happiness at the moment, okay? And so in the middle of my writing this morning, one of the things that I did was I decided to look up what's going on in terms of the happiness index. And the United States has lost, in the 10 years that they have been doing the happiness index around the world, the United States has gone from number 11 in 2010 to number 18 in 2020, which is not a good sign. And there are a lot of countries that are doing a hell of a lot better on it than we are. And how this all came down was that last night I saw this meme of the orange blob sitting next to the third wife, and both of them looked so frigging miserable. They're just miserable. And you have to realize that people aren't smiling. We're not smiling. Oh my God, it just really came to me that wearing masks prevents us from smiling. Now, don't go off on me. I am a big proponent of masks because of the unfortunate thing going on right now. However, at the same time, what I am realizing out of all of that is that it is taking away the most important part of communication with other people, and that is smiling. Oh God, it just was such a insight as to what's going on. And I've been in the midst of it, and I'm looking back at some of my videos and going, oh my God, Mark, what the hell? What the hell? You are just miserable. Now, I think it was important to be miserable. and I still am and can be miserable. And the other day, when I realized that there were a lot of boring people in my life, I went, oh dear, that means that I have at least part of me who is, let's take that word out of it, who is boring. Who is boring. And I remember years ago, someone said to me, don't ever say you're bored, because if you say you're bored, it means you're boring. Ooh, dear, that was a rough one. And so I make every effort not to say that I'm bored. But let's go back to happiness. It was interesting. On the scale for 2020 for the states, I will list off the top 4, which is really weird. The top 4 is really weird in a certain context. Now, the first one, Hawaii, makes total sense in the world. I mean, the weather is perfect, everything is perfect, life is wonderful. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Hawaii has its problems, but for the most part, it is a pretty cool place, albeit a little far away from things. The second one was Utah, which is very interesting, probably because of how much you can do outdoors and how much fun you can have and all of that. But what's also interesting about, like, for example, Utah, is that it has one of the highest suicide rates among young people of anywhere in the United States. And so, yeah, it's a happy place, but there's some misery going on underneath it all. Now, the third one was North Dakota. Now, I have been to North Dakota. I've been to Western North Dakota, and I was blown away at its beauty. Oh my God. I just could not believe how beautiful it was. Just could not believe how beautiful it was. Oh, it was just so spectacular. And that said, it gets pretty cold up there. So I don't know about whether or not I could be happy there, but I'm glad that the people in North Dakota are happy for the most part. That's a good thing. And coming in at number 4, the state of California. And the reason that I want to bring up the state of California is that it occurred to me in the middle of my writing this morning that that's probably one of the reasons that it's hated on so much, is that for the most part, people are actually pretty happy here. And what's also interesting is that Hawaii has a very large homeless population, and so does California. So, in the midst of all our happiness, we are missing some key features of taking care of our own people and our own population. But it seems to me that it would be a good idea to live in a place where the happiness index is pretty high. Seems to me that that would be a good idea. So, the other part of the story, though, is that we take ourselves with us. So, it's all nice to have those lists, but there are happy people everywhere. Voltaire said, plant your own garden, tend to your own garden. And that's one of the things he meant, was be at peace with yourself. Pay attention to what's going on in your local life. Pay attention to your own inner self. I could go into a lot of stuff right now, and one of the things that's flashing on me is paying attention to our own small community. That is one of the things that I think is lacking right now. And participation in our own small community where we know each other is a direct correlation to happiness. It even said so in the happiness description index. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that's all I'm going to say today. And I'm going to leave it at that happiness, if we're not happy, if we're not smiling, no wonder we pollute the planet. No wonder we do all of these horrible things to other people. I said the other day, we are not inherently bad. We have learned this. And we have got a long way to go in terms of righting the ship. Turn inward. Work on joy. Work on happiness. Well, I hate the term work, but be. Learn how to be. And be of service. And be of service with a smile. Merci beaucoup. Bonjour. Thank you so much for listening. Have a fabulous day.